Hey Chief, is your son selling popcorn?
They're not this year. So
I told you, he does. I'm ready to buy.
Yeah, the troop is, but for whatever reason, they.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everybody, to our October 16th Board of Trustee meeting. Roll call, please.
Heigl?
Yes?
Shinneberry? Yes. Siamaco?
Yes.
Thank you. Pat, we will go to you.
We have nobody interested in public comment this evening, so we'll just go past.
Okay, moving on to trustee comments. Who would like to begin?
I can.
Okay.
So I've received a few calls and emails from residents who did not fully understand the SOPEC aggregation that's on the ballot, which are issues 23 for electric and 24 for gas. Just to kind of give you a recap of where this came from. Back when I was campaigning, I had a chance to walk every street, and I talked to virtually neighbors from every subdivision in our township. And the one consistent concern I heard from anyone I spoke with was high gas, high electric, high water bills. So in looking for alternate solutions that might help the residents lower their utility cost, I came across utility aggregators by the name of both SOPEC and NOPEC. I met with both and brought this up in a number of our township meetings. Both of the aggregators spoke at our township meetings to explain in detail what their companies do and how they can provide significant savings to our township residents. This initiative, which began back in late April, I went back to the meeting notes to find late April, is being presented in order to save the residents money on their gas and electric bills. There is definitely power in numbers, and we are an entire township. Should the issues pass, you will not be required to switch. If any of our residents are already in an agreement with a different supplier, you will not be placed into the program. Since we are an opt-out program, like many other townships, such as Genoa and Orange, which are close to us, if you are not interested in the cost savings or being in an aggregation, you can just simply opt out of it. SOPEC has been sending out information materials to our residents. I contacted them because I wasn't sure I received one, but their first little flyer looked like this. I don't know if you guys have received it. And then the second flyer, which ironically, the day after I emailed them saying, "Are you educating our public?" looked like this. It actually came in the mail. So this is what the little postcards look like. In case you didn't receive it, or maybe you did and didn't realize what it was. They have been sending out information materials to the residents and has a dedicated landing page on their website to provide education for the two aggregation issues that are on the ballot in Blendon Township. Their website, if you need it, is www.sopec.gov/vote-blendon. They said they're happy to answer any questions our residents may have. we trustees continue looking for options to help our residents save money any way we can. So hopefully you receive these, or if you have questions, contact them directly. They're happy to answer. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
I have no comments tonight.
No, I have no updates either.
Moving on to the fiscal report, I will begin with the meeting minutes. Ladies, did you have the opportunity to review the minutes from October 2nd?
Yes, and I'll go ahead and move to approve those.
I'll second.
All right, there's a motion on the floor and seconded to approve the meeting minutes from October 2nd. Vote, please.
Heigl?
Yes?
Schinneberg?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
All right, and purchase orders, have you had the opportunity to review those purchase orders?
Yes, and I will move to approve the purchase orders as presented.
I will second.
And there is a motion on the floor and seconded to approve the purchase orders as presented. Vote, please.
Heigl?
Yes?
Schinneberg?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
Next, we have the bills. Lots of bills. Did you have the opportunity to review those?
Yes, I will move to pay the bills as presented.
I'll second.
All right, there's a motion on the floor and seconded to pay the bills as presented.
Heigl?
Yes?
Schinneberg?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Next is the August 2024 bank reconciliations. Were you able to review those?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve those as presented.
I'll second.
There is a motion on the floor and seconded to approve the August 2024 bank reconciliations. Were there any questions on that?
No? Very straightforward. Joanne, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Heigl?
Yes.
Schinneberg?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm going to pass the next two items to Joanne, the supplemental appropriations and the acceptance of rates.
So for the supplemental appropriation, we received forfeiture dollars through the state forfeiture revenue program. As part of receiving those dollars, we're required to pay the Franklin County prosecutor 25% of those forfeited funds. So asking for a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $3,664.50 so we could pay the county prosecutor.
I'm ready for a motion.
I will move to approve the supplemental appropriations in the amount of $3,664.50 to pay the Franklin County prosecutor 25% of forfeited funds from the total of $14,450 from state forfeiture revenue.
I'll second that.
There is a motion on the floor and seconded to approve the supplemental appropriations as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none?
Heigl?
Yes?
Schinneberg?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
The second supplemental appropriation is from the Jed Z account for $5,000, and this is for the light pole repair on Route 3.
Okay, we'll need a motion.
I will move to approve the supplemental appropriation in the amount of $5,000 as presented by Ms. Berg.
I'll second.
There is a motion on the floor and seconded to approve the supplemental appropriation in the amount of $5,000 as presented. Any discussion?
Heigl?
Yes?
Schinneberg?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
Thank you.
And then the next request is for a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor as presented. This is basically the product of the tax budget, 2025 tax budget that was filed back in July, and takes our levies and allocates them amongst all the appropriate areas.
All right.
I will move to approve Resolution 2024-34 as presented by Ms. Berg.
I'll second.
There's a motion on the floor and seconded for Resolution 2024-34 as presented. Any discussion?
No.
Heigl?
Yes?
Schinneberg?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Go back to you, Pat.
Thank you. Just a couple things. First, I'd like to ask you to accept a $6,000 check for a good faith payment, non-refundable good faith payment we received from Crown Castle to start the process of the cell tower. What this is, it's guaranteed $6,000. They still have to go to FCC and get some different approvals. If that doesn't happen and nothing happens, we keep the $6,000. If it does happen, things will start to move over the next several months, and we'll begin to see our monthly income from that as well. But we did receive the $6,000 this week, so we can go ahead and approve that.
I'll move to accept the $6,000 non-refundable payment from Crown Castle as Mr. Myers just presented.
Second.
There is a motion on the floor and seconded to accept the $6,000 initial good faith non-refundable payment from Crown Castle. Any discussion? Hearing none?
Heickel?
Yes?
Shinaberry?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
Thank you. Just a couple of discussion items. First, we talked about House Bill 47 in the last meeting. We've all read that. It talks about AEDs in the parks, and there were some guidelines out there. We've worked with legal counsel to get an opinion on where those have to go. Do they have to be in all the parks? And what we found out was, as far as House Bill 47, until which time there's any, maybe the legislation makes some better definitions. For us, Ridgewood Park will be the only place that we need to have an AED at this time. So working with Centos, we're going to be able to add an AED to our account for the same cost that we pay to have AEDs in this building, which is $109 a month. They'll replace the first one, and he's putting language together for me on what happens if something happens to a second one. It will be in a case, they're not going to charge us any more, a weather environmental case, so that it won't get too cold, it won't get too hot. So we'll get that finalized and out in the park before October 24th, which is the deadline for HB 47. I am hearing Chief Miller may be able to comment as well. I am hearing that the 24th is the guideline. They're not just going to send people out to start enforcing, why don't you have an AED out here and so forth. But we will have that AED in Ridgewood Park. There is some talk that the legislature is going to look at, do we really need one? I'll use Ridgewood as an example because, yes, we have a ball field there and we have a field that people play soccer in, but it's not organized sports that are happening there on a regular basis, like, you know, sanctioned sports. But for now, in order to stay within the law, we're going to go ahead and put one out there until we hear it. So that was just an update for you, and I'll finalize that in the next meeting. I did want to bring up something else I didn't have on the agenda. I wanted to bring up streetlights. We had 23 streetlights that we were asking AEP to fix and pushing pretty hard. The local contact came back. At one point, we had about 12 of those done. She's supposed to get back to tomorrow with the final count as well. We did get an email today from a gentleman, Trustee Siamaco and I, from a gentleman, Paul Regales. He sent a picture of it, said, let there be light. So they are getting out to fix them. Having this local contact's helping, I think. We also have a third shift sergeant that is taking that spreadsheet and helping on the police force and helping me look at those throughout the night to see what's happening with those. So we'll continue to work with them and continue to give updates on our social media about where we're at on them. If the public has a streetlight issue and it's on that list, don't hesitate to ask me about it. If it's still not fixed, I have no problem taking that email and bumping it up against that list. And if there's a new one that wasn't out before, please let me know. We'll get it on the list and keep working with AEP to do that. So I just wanted to give an update on that.
I have a quick question for you, if it's okay.
Sure.
The AEDs, what's the typical required maintenance of those, and does anyone have to be certified to use them?
You don't have to be certified to use them. Well, Chief might be able to speak better to that. But as far as maintenance, there's a monthly maintenance within our program. They come out monthly, service it, make sure it works. They do that in all these buildings as well. We're also, you know, I'd like to put some kind of sign up that tells people not to hurt it. You know, if we can
No,
do
you
something.
shouldn't.
You're right. So, but anyways, Centos provides monthly maintenance on all our AEDs, including the one we will be putting in there. And then there's a sticker on the side of it signed off that it was done, and they also let us know as well.
And if one is destroyed or stolen, do they automatically replace that for
They're
that
gonna
one?
replace the first one. I'm waiting on language from him on what happens if another one happens, right? So he's working with his folks. The Centos people are a little overwhelmed by it as well, because if you're a salesperson there, you're probably loving it, because there's gonna be a pretty big boost in AED sales. But he's been really good. He came out and sat down with me. We talked about the options. He's going back to his leadership and say, what happens if there's a third one or a fourth one or what happens. So I'll get that all firmed up before the next meeting, and, you know, have the information for it before the 24th and have information to you.
I'm wondering if that has to be added to our insurance.
Probably, I'll ask Wendy French about that, probably. It might fall under the contract with all of Centos, but I want to see what they come back with first. And then we'll make sure that we are covered on that going forward. Because that was, I think, all of our concern is, we can get one, what happens if we have to get another one, So he's going back, because that was a question that came up from multiple localities, is what happens if it's gone? And the first one's free, they said, and he said he's got to check on the rest of them, so I'll get that information to you.
If I could chime in on something that she asked about, as far as whether it's easy to use. Trustee Heichel and I forgot to say this during comments time. Trustee Heichel and I attended the CPR training that the township sponsored last week, and they went through AED training, and it is very, very easy. It's an automated thing. It walks you through it. I mean, it talks to you and tells you exactly what to do, and it's very, very easy.
And I had a concern about it hurting someone with it, but I know Chief, we talked about that. If your heart's not at a certain rhythm, it doesn't even turn, it won't even work. So that was good to know too. So we'll get that taken care of, and, and safety matters, so. Any other questions about that?
No?
The only other thing I have is, it's been announced, we've been taking applications for the senior center director role, as well as a part-time bus driver role. I do have an applicant coming in Friday to speak to me about the bus driver role, but we're also holding a special meeting at 10 a.m. on Friday for the trustees to interview candidates for the senior center. They will open the meeting, go to executive session, that'll happen, and then they'll come out and there either will be or won't be action, and we'll go from there. So I'll be posting that special meeting tomorrow. We have 4 candidates for the senior center director position, and I think all of you are excited to talk to them. I know they're all excited to talk to you guys as well. So looking forward to that. Sherelle's been here a long time, and she's ready. And November 30th is right around the corner. So if we can, nail something down the next couple of weeks, it'd be good for all of us, I think. So I think that's all I have, unless you have anything for me.
All right. Matt, ready for your maintenance update?
I just wanted to say that our fall cleanup went very well. We filled 5 40-yard dumpsters full of unwanted household items. We took about 60 tires to recycle. We got 1,500 pounds of scrap metal, took it to the recycle. Yep. And we shredded 2 box trucks full of documents, and we did really well with that. We received $721 in donations from our residents so I'd like trustees to accept the $721 in donations. And then we received a check for $93.74 from the scrap metal.
Is that on top of the 721?
Yes.
Well, I will move to accept the $721 in donations from the Community Cleanup Day.
I'll second that.
There is a motion on the floor and seconded to accept the donations of $721 from Community Cleanup. Any discussion?
Heichel?
Yes?
Shineberry?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
Thank you, Matt. I know that's a lot of work. It's a very long weekend. The community appreciates the service, and their generosity supports that as well. Thank you. Okay, Chief Alfred.
Not this coming Saturday, but Saturday after, October 26th, our officers, in conjunction with the Drug Enforcement Administration, will be conducting a prescription drug turn-in and disposal station out here in our parking lot from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Again, that's on Saturday, October 22nd. That is the National Day. There'll be drop-off sites all over the county, but that one's ours. And that's all I have to report.
What date did you say?
October 26th, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Chief Miller.
Well, fall's definitely in the air. As I was coming here tonight, I could smell some people starting to use their fireplaces. So just want to remind everybody, if you close the flue during the summer, it's a good time to open that back up if you want to use your fireplace. Good time to get it clean. Only burn dry season wood. We get a lot of people burning green wood, and that causes a lot of soot and smoke. The other thing is, it's a good time, get your furnace checked and replace your furnace filters, and if you have gas appliances, your carbon monoxide detectors. They're typically good for 5 to 7 years, so if it's more than that, it's probably time to get replaced. And then the last thing is space heaters. We've had a few fires started by space heaters. They're required to have 3 feet all the way around them, so if you're using them, I always tell people, you know, make sure you're in the room with it when you're using it. If not, turn it off. So, but we're getting into the colder season. I think we all woke up with frost on our windows this morning, so just want to get those messages out. So that's all I got. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
I wanted to thank the fire department for their wonderful open house that they did a week ago Sunday. I went, I attended that over at Station 111. They do a great job. If you've never been to their open house, I encourage you to go. When they do it next year, it's always during Fire Prevention Week, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, actually, I attended too, so it was nice. It's very nice.
Thank you.
Look forward to next year. And I wanted to tell you also, Chief, Mr. Sanders, your trainer, we had the CPR AED training here for Blendon residents. He is with Chief Miller's department. He's been training for 10 years, he told us.
Yep.
It was excellent training, very professional, very kind, very attentive. It went so well.
Great.
That everybody felt comfortable leaving, that they were better informed on what to do.
He's a great paramedic firefighter, so lucky to have him.
Yes, you are. All right.
And Jan, thanks for spearheading that.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
Passion project.
Yes, it was a passion project. Okay. Moving on, our announcements, we have our next regular Board of Trustee meeting, October 30th, the same place, which is here, also live streamed at 6:30 p.m. Before I move to adjourn, we're going to take a short break, maybe 5 minutes, and then open again our public hearing meeting. So if you want to stay, you're very welcome to. But for now, I will take a motion to adjourn this meeting, and it is 6:50.
I will move to adjourn the meeting at 6:50.
All right, there's a motion on the floor and seconded to adjourn the meeting at 6:50. Call for the vote, please.
Heickel?
Yes?
Schindler?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned. Back in 5 minutes.
My two fire department related comments. I don't know if I make them or not.
When you all get up to leave, I'm sure that's a sign that it's, you know.
I don't even know if you really need to do that.
Yeah, but that's.
No,